SEC Media Days is in the books, so Will Gunter is home safe and sound and back in the studio in Columbia, South Carolina. You can join Will on the all-new early game. It's 107.5 The Game. Will, a decent drive back for you?
It was not bad. Glad to be home. I always love that event. It's a fun event. We'll see if we go back to Birmingham next year or if we're in another city, but certainly a fun event. Wraps it up. Now we get 2 weeks off, and then at least for South Carolina, they will get their practices going on July 31st. So a little 2-week layoff, and then it's really into the official start of college football season.
Excellent. Will got back pretty late last night, so we appreciate after his normal shift there and knocking out the show that he's going to join us just to wrap up Media Days. So, of course, we got to talk some Alabama. If you haven't caught Will's earlier videos with us, check those out. But we want to catch up on the Tide. I was having this discussion with somebody in the last day that the SEC, starting with Commissioner Sankey, used to be out ahead of the issues in college football, meaning that Mike Slive in particular would identify a couple issues and say, hey, we're the SEC. We're going to take the forefront on these issues. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. This is where we stand, or maybe identify something that no other conference and no other entity out there had identified as an issue or something that needed to be taken hold of, and the SEC would take the leadership. The last couple of years with Greg Sankey more talking about just accomplishments and not really being out in front of anything. Nick Saban, by extension, being the guy, the dean of the coaches there in the SEC, used to have an agenda, a platform. It seems like this is more of a marketing deal, and he's just showing up and doing his thing and putting in his time. I don't know if there's anything that Alabama brought to the table that caught your ear.
Not really. Trying to rebound, if that's at all possible, I guess, because when you go 14-1, it's still a pretty good season for 99.9% of the schools out there. There's only really one that can go 14-1 and complain, and that's Alabama. And so almost trying to rebound from a last-second loss to Clemson. But you know who the quarterback is. They have a lot of quality pieces returning offensively and defensively. There's going to be the interesting game, obviously, that was discussed a little bit against Florida State to kick off the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. But by and large, it's for Alabama, it's business as usual. And you're right, it was kind of a mundane, laid-back SEC Media Day going from Greg Sankey on through really till Will Muschamp on Thursday. But, to go back to your SEC comment, I don't know what the pressing issue is out there this year as we go into the offseason. We've resolved – I say we like I'm a part of it. They've resolved the signing day discussion that's been lingering for years. College football expansion is not an issue right now. We've got the college football playoff resolved for at least the next 10 years. It's kind of a very low-key time across the board in college football. You don't have some turbulence in the major issues that we've dealt with maybe at times in the past during so-called talking season.